Welcome to the Thorn Creek Trail. Good morning, everybody. I am coming to you this morning from the city of Chicago Heights, Illinois. It is at this location that we are going to check out the Thorn Creek Trail. The Thorn Creek Trail is one of those trails that I have not yet ridden, although I was on a tiny little portion of it, which would be right here where the Old Plank Road Trail meets up with the Thorn Creek Trail. So I've actually been right here, but that's it. That's my extent on this trail. So this is all new ground for me. So today I parked at Joe Orr Woods. I wanted to be somewhere in the realm of the middle. Joe Orr Woods, they have a parking lot here. You can see a porta potty, garbage cans. They do have a sheltered picnic area. And this is the trail right this way through here. So the Thorn Creek Trail is part of a larger trail system they call the Thorn Creek Trail System. So the trail itself is this red one here that starts down on 26th Street, makes its way winding around all the way up to mile marker 11.8 up here by North Creek at Lansing Woods. Making your way south from here, you make your way down through here, and then there's this Sauk Trail Lake. They do have this black loop here, so it looks like the loop is 3.4 miles according to this. They also have a little short purple trail connector right here. Looks like that's 1.4 miles. There's also one over this way over here. So as far as maps go at Cook County Forest Preserves, this is actually a pretty good one. Nice and big, shows lots of detail here. So I'm appreciating that. Let's check this map out on AllTrails here. So we are right here, right at Joe Orr Woods. The trail runs right through the parking lot here. So what I'm going to do is head north first. That's the bigger chunk of it from this location. All right, so we're going to head up the trail here. It looks like there's a little side trail we're going to look at over here. Follow it, winding all the way around, go all the way up to the top. There's this little side trail here, and then we're going to make our way right back to where we are right now, and then start the southern portion, which you can see there's a little offshoot here, a little side trail here and over here, and then we're going to do that loop here, and they got a couple side trails that we're going to check out. I think the total ride is going to be in the realm of 33 miles total today. It is the 1st of August today, so July is in fact over at this point, although it's a lot cooler this weekend than last weekend. The temperature right now is 63 degrees. It's going to be heating up to I think about 74. Let's check out the Thorn Creek Trail. Right off the bat here, my first critique is they do not have the yellow flashers for crossing that street, and they definitely should. I think that's at least 4 lanes of traffic.
Did you know that the Thorn Creek Trail is a paved trail winding through wildlife-rich woodlands, linking multiple communities on Chicago's southern edge? It joins the eastern end of the Old Plank Road Trail and terminates at the Sauk Trail Woods Forest Preserve in Chicago Heights.
I wonder what this is. It is definitely one of those days where when you're standing still, it feels really nice. In fact, just a smidge warm, but once you start moving and you get some wind, you're going over 10 miles an hour, man, it can be chilly right now.
You're watching Cynical Zombie. Join us as we explore bike trails all over Illinois, Wisconsin, and beyond.
All right, as you saw, I went past the turn here. One of the maps that I was following showed that the trail continued a little bit that way, basically where I turned around, and then, I'd have to turn around and make my way back, although it was more of a sidewalk than anything else. So I'm not sure which map that was that suggested that was a trail, but it's a sidewalk, not a trail. So we started here at Joe Orr Woods. Now we're up here at Glenwood Woods North. Right across the street is Glenwood Woods South. They do have a porta potty and a sheltered picnic area over that way. On this side here, on the north end, I also see a porta potty here, some garbage cans. They do have parking lots at both locations, and they do have a, looks really nice, like a nice sheltered picnic area over this way here. Having a bridge go over train tracks is definitely a good thing, unlike that one spot on the Des Plaines River Trail that I find very questionable. But when they do put up bridges, I'm not really a big fan of like the chain link fence all over or completely encased. But I would rather have this than have to go directly across the tracks like on the Des Plaines River Trail. So we're right up here at Sweet Woods. Looks like Joe Orr Woods is right by mile marker number 3. And we're pretty close to mile marker 7 from this location. At Sweet Woods, they do have a big parking lot. They have garbage cans. You can see a porta potty. They have another one of those nice sheltered picnic areas. Very cool. Well, it looks like this section of the Thorn Creek Trail is also part of the Grand Illinois Trail. Apparently 95 miles away from LaSalle and 2 miles from Lansing. So we do have to turn left here, as the sign indicates, to follow the red trail. There is a parking lot here with trail access. The sign also indicates that there's water and restrooms and a sheltered picnic area. So we're just gonna go through there first just to see what all that looks like. Oh, they have a really big parking lot here. Looks like they have multiple porta potties. That building right there might actually be a standalone restroom. They also have a couple sheltered picnic areas, so that's pretty good. We recently passed mile marker 10, and according to the map here, the red trail, which is what we're on currently, that's the main section of the Thorn Creek Trail, ends at mile marker 11.8, so we're not that far off. So let's check out the rest of the north side of this trail. So we're right by that last side trail on the northern end. So it looks like at this point we have some choices to make. We can cross, it looks like at 2 different locations here if we really wanted to. What I'm going to end up doing here is going this way. We're going to ride the trail here. It looks like it just goes a few blocks up this way, and then we'll turn around and then we'll cut onto this trail here and then start making our way north again. Well, according to the signage, we were on the green trail, and according to this right here, it is the end of the trail, and I do concur. This is where the trail ends. It ends right here at Eagle Academy Christian School pre-K3 to 8th. So we can look on the map here. So we're right here on that little side trail. So we're gonna go back here and then finish up. Looks like there's probably about a mile left over here this way by North Creek. All right, so we made our way all the way to the very top of the Thorn Creek Trail here at Lansing Woods. Mile marker 11.8. I don't actually see a mile marker sign anywhere around here. They do have a parking lot here. I see some picnic tables, garbage cans. They do have a porta potty. I don't see anything sheltered here. But I will say, I mean, now that I've ridden the stretch between Joe Orr Woods all the way up to Lansing Woods here, this is all really nice. They take you through some areas that kind of make you forget you're in Cook County. There are definitely some spots in the trails they need to work on, but as a whole, it's in pretty good shape and definitely rideable and definitely worth checking out. So at this point, we're gonna make our way from Lansing Woods all the way back to Joe Orr Woods and then take a little break there, and then we're gonna check out the remainder of the trail going south. We're gonna get right back at this trail intersection here, which has been at least a few years since I've been over here. And then we're gonna do this loop, check out this purple trail, and we should have everything covered here in the Thorn Creek Trail system. So let's make our way back. All right, so we made our way back to Joe Orr Woods, which is over here on the map. So at this point, I have done, according to AllTrails, 19.8, according to the bike, 20.1 miles. Hitting there and back, and then hitting those couple side trails. So next up is we're gonna, from Joe Orr Woods here where the car's parked, we're gonna start making our way south. It looks like mile marker 0 might be in the realm of 26th Street. And then there's that black loop right here. So we're going to do that. Looks like we got 3.4 miles of that. We're also going to hit the Purple Trail, which is 1.4 miles each way. So maybe in the realm of 12 miles. And then we are completely done with the Thorn Creek Trail system. So let's check out the southern end. As you can see, I pulled off on an unpaved side path here. It just goes up to the street and back, but I did notice that it had a bridge, so I wanted to make sure I tried it. Another little side trail I noticed in satellite view. I did not notice the big staircase here, but at least we did get to cross a nice, another one of those little bridges. So I'm just gonna make my way back to the trail and continue south. Okay, so we made it to the intersection here, the trail intersection between the Thorn Creek Trail and the Old Plank Road Trail. That's this trail right over here. So it's been, I think, at least a few years since I've been right here at this very spot as we checked out the Old Plank Road Trail. which is one of those trails I want to redo since it's been a while since we've been on it. But at this point here, it looks like we've already passed mile marker 1, so we're going to make our way to the loop and check that out.
Did you know that the Old Plank Road Trail is on an abandoned railroad? The corridor had originally been secured to build a wagon and horse road using wood planks, but the road was never built. The trail travels 22 miles from Chicago Heights west through Park Forest, Madison, Frankfort, New Lenox, and Joliet.
Well, that technically does it for the Thorn Creek Trail itself. Very unceremonious end to it. As you can see, there is some signage over here indicating that the Thorn Creek Trail system begins this way. And then there's the Sauk Trail Woods, of which we're going to do that loop next. All right, so we've made it along the west side of the loop here. We checked out that little side trail, and now we're going to get off the loop, and then this is the purple trail that says Steger Road is right here. What we're going to do is take the purple trail all the way down to where it ends, and then just reverse course, get back to this intersection, and continue to finish up the loop that way. All right, so we made it to the end of the Purple Trail here. It looks like Steger Road and Western Avenue. We must be on a county line here. I see a Cook County sign peeking over here, and if I look on the other side of the street, I see a Will County sign. So we're right on the border of between Cook County and Will County. So at this point, I'm just going to turn back around, ride the 1.4 miles back to the loop, and let's finish that off. All right, so we're done with the loop at this point. We've made it back to the very southern end here of the Thorn Creek Trail. So we're gonna head on that and backtrack back to Joe Orr Woods. The loop is actually really great. It's definitely worth checking out. I would like it if Cook County would put in an overlook or something right in the area over here. There's very few opportunities for getting a good view of the lake. You just saw one right when we got back to the street, but otherwise you catch little glimpses, but you don't get a good view of the whole lake, you know, like a good overlook would have places to sit and all of that. The Purple Trail, you could tell that the Purple Trail is not ridden very much. There was actually moss growing on, in some parts of it was growing right in the middle of the trail, and others on the edges of the trail, and there was lots of debris from wind and storms and that kind of stuff, little debris, but still you could tell that it's not really used as much. So there were definitely places with restrooms here, so that was good to see. So we're gonna head back onto the Thorn Creek Trail and make our way north. As always, when given an opportunity, let's take a moment to recognize Old Glory, waving in the breeze, as she should. And that does it for the Thorn Creek Trail system. So as it turns out, I like this trail more than I thought I would. And riding this trail has made me want to re-ride the Old Plank Road Trail, especially since it's been over 3 years since I've ridden that trail, and this time spending a lot more time in Frankfort to see what's there. Let me know what you think of the trails in the comments below. If you are familiar with this area and you know of a place I should check out the next time I'm here, definitely let me know. As always, if you enjoyed this content, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. It definitely helps the channel grow. If you are interested in supporting this channel and helping us get to more trails, please consider a super thanks. And that's all I got today from the Thorn Creek Trail. I'll catch you on the next ride. Do you have a trail recommendation for me? Let me know in the comments below.